games are tonight. The nightcap features the Clippers at the T-Wolves from the Twin Cities. Paul George has returned from injury to help bolster this LA team. They'll need him against the duo of Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. It's the 7-8 game out west, and for Minnesota to be hosting this thing is a big step from last year's nightmare season, in which they finished with the 6th worst record in the association. The T-Wolves are seeking their first playoff appearance since 2018. Clippers won't have Kawhi Leonard for this series, but haven't had to have him in their services all season long, so that's nothing new. But taking a look at their season splits this season, the game for tonight has Minnesota laying 3 points and expect a lot of points to be scored with a total of 230.5. All right, to get us ready for tonight, nobody better than Avery Johnson joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. And we're talking about Minnesota here, Coach. Why would Anthony Edwards be a key player in this series?
Well, Tommy, Anthony Edwards is a key player in this series because of his scoring prowess. You know, he's played in all 4 games against the Clippers this year. The guy can score at all 3 levels. And he has a body that's built for the NBA playoffs because he can play through contact. But I think the key to his game is not just his athletic ability in finishing around the paint and taking hits, but his ability to knock down the three-point shot. He made 40 more three-pointers this year. He went from 34% to about 32% to about 6%. So his ability to knock down threes, especially off the dribble, at the end of shot clocks, when in the playoffs, everybody know your plays. So you're going to have to score when the shot clock is going down. So I just think his ability to knock down the three, play in transition, make the mid-range shot. He's a much better defender this year. He stole 20 more had 20 more steals this year. So I just think this guy is made for the playoffs, and I'm looking for him to really have an outstanding night tonight.
A lot on the line for him. He's become a consistent 20-point-a-night scorer and a chance to get his team into the postseason. When we break this down even further, Avery, taking a look at Paul George, who's come back, been playing well, getting into form, and we know Patrick Beverley on the other side. Talk about Luka Doncic last year, kind of that gnat that never goes away. How much do you anticipate we'll see Pat Bev against PG-13 in this series?
I think you'll see him play and defend Paul George a little bit. You got to remember, dating back to when Pat Bev played for Houston, he got into it with Russell Westbrook when in Oklahoma, Luka Doncic. But the one thing that is kind of the great neutralizer, the Clippers know Pat Bev. So they're not going to be rattled and they're not going to get into any confrontations with him. They know he's a really good on-ball defender. They're not, Reggie Jackson and Paul George, they're not going to make some of the same mistakes as in the highlight, some of the young Pelicans players. They're not going to get really flustered in any way. You won't see many Clippers players getting technical fouls tonight. They'll play through any of Patrick Beverley's, his antics on the court. So look for the Clippers to keep their cool. And also with Ty Lue, he's a very experienced coach, championship coach. He's seen this movie before. So look for the Clippers to keep their composure, probably get off to somewhat of a slow start. But in the fourth quarter, in the last 5 minutes, the Clippers, Paul George, he'll have a big night tonight. Minnesota doesn't have an answer for Paul George. So look for him to really go off tonight in Minnesota.
All right, so it sounds like you like the Clippers, who are getting 3 points, and I mentioned the total of 230.5. Are you going as far as saying Clippers on the money line there, Coach, or what do you think the smart bet there is?
Yeah, I'm taking the Clippers in the points because I just like that this team is going to play one of their most complete games of the year. I think at the end of the day, Minnesota gets frustrated. Karl-Anthony Towns and Edwards, they'll combine for around 48 points tonight. I don't really see Karl-Anthony Towns getting his 3-point shot into the game. I think the Clippers will make an adjustment there and run him off the 3-point line, force him to play in the paint. So I'm taking the Clippers in the points tonight.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.